logistical assistance to bring vaccines to rural areas. A dual worldview of Islam continues to be studied. Hello and good evening. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Welcome to News at 10. The Armed Forces ATM is offering logistic aid to the Health Ministry for the delivery of COVID-19 vaccines to rural areas, especially in Sabah and Sarawak, according to Defence Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Datuk Seri Ismail said this was due to road conditions in those areas as well as lack of access for normal vehicles. He added that ATM had the kind of vehicles needed for the road conditions.
Kalau boleh, kita tak nak bawa masyarakat pendalaman keluar ke bandar. Tetapi kita masuk ke dalam sampai ke perkampungan mereka. Jadi di kawasan-kawasan yang susah, tentera akan terlibat. Setengah tempat mungkin di Sabah Sarawak tidak ada akses pun untuk masuk ke kawasan mereka. Kita tak boleh tinggalkan mereka. Jadi kita bawa para medik, nurse, doktor dan sebagainya ke kampung mereka juga vaksin. Kalau tak boleh ada akses langsung, kita akan bawa melalui helikopter pun. Kita buka kemah di perkampungan mereka, kita bagi injection di perkampungan mereka.
He said this to reporters after visiting the Army Drive-Thru Vaccination Centre (PPV) at the Sungai Besi Perdana Camp today. Also present were Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba and Chief of Defence Force General Tan Sri Effendi Buang. On another note, 500,000 ATM personnel and their families are expected to have received their COVID-19 vaccines within 3 months. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the vaccine distribution process will be made easier with the utilisation of drive-through vaccine distribution centres (PPV). Through this method, a total of 1,500 vaccines can be delivered to ATM personnel in a day.
Kita juga mencadangkan, dah bersetuju kita dalam pembincangan tadi, Panglima Tentera Darat akan bentangkan dengan lebih detail, iaitu cadangan kita untuk membuka lebih banyak di kem di seluruh negara. Dan kita akan fokuskan kepada negeri-negeri yang dianggap sebagai merah, yang mempunyai kes yang tinggi seperti Selangor, Pulau Pinang, Johor Bahru, Johor, Kelantan, begitu juga Sabah dan Sarawak. Mungkin ada 6 lagi yang kita minta supaya Panglima Tentera Darat untuk melihat dan mencadangkan kepada kita.
ATM has also requested from the Health Ministry, Farman Niaga Berhad and the Special Committee on COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee JKJAV for the procurement of continuous supply of the Sinovac vaccine for ATM personnel. The Malaysian Armed Forces ATM have identified several locations for the construction of 6 field hospitals according to the needs of the Health Ministry. The project will be implemented using the RM1 billion allocation through the Supplementary Strategic Program to empower the people and economy Permekasa Plus. Defence Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said a field hospital will be erected at Hospital Sultanah Aminah Johor Bahru in the near future, which will also be equipped with intensive care units (ICU). In addition to building field hospitals, the allocation will also be used to increase the number of medical practitioners to manage the current COVID-19 situation in the country. Currently, 3 field hospitals are already in operation in Tawau, Kapit and Kepala Batas.
Kita di kalangan tentera Kita punya ramai doktor yang telah pun bersara dan kita akan panggil balik mereka ini. Kita untuk fasa pertama ni kita akan tambah 30 doktor melalui peruntukan yang diumumkan oleh Yang Amat Perdana Menteri, 100 paramedik, nurses dan sebagainya yang dulu pun dah bersara, kita panggil balik dan kita akan lantik secara kontrak. Dan bila kita dapat saja peruntukan tersebut dan tambahan itu, kita boleh buka 4 hingga 6 hospital medan lagi di seluruh negara. Jadi kita memang dah ada perancangan tu, dan cuma pembukaan kita berdasarkan kepada keperluan daripada Kementerian Kesihatan.
The first Industrial Vaccination Centre PPV in Johor is set to begin its operation on 16 June in Pengerang, Kota Tinggi to inoculate those working in Complex Petronas. National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme PICK Coordinating Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the PPV is open to inoculate those involved in essential sectors during MCO 3.0. Khairi explained that another PPV is also set to be opened in Mount Austin in Johor Bahru by the end of the month. He said further discussions are currently being held to add more PPVs for other sectors.
Kita juga sedang bincang dengan sektor-sektor lain. Kita mula dengan sektor perkilangan. Selepas ini kita akan bincang dengan sektor perladangan untuk PPV dibuka di ladang-ladang besar, dan juga sektor pembinaan dan juga sektor retail ataupun runcit nanti.
Khairi, who was speaking during Johor COVID-19 Immunisation Task Force CITF meeting in Iskandar Puteri, also said more hospitals and private clinics will be used as PPVs in the near future. Malaysia recorded a total of 5,566 new COVID-19 cases over the past 24 hours, a slight increase from yesterday's tally of 5,271. According to a statement by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, only 4 of them were import cases while the remaining were all local transmissions. Selangor remains the state with the highest number of new cases recorded at 1,524, followed by Sarawak with 707 new cases and Negeri Sembilan 505 cases. Meanwhile, 6,962 cases recovered and were discharged yesterday, bringing the total number of recoveries up to 41,319, equivalent to 86.25% recovery rate. Following this development, the number of active cases in Malaysia currently stands at 82,797. From the number, 903 of them are currently being treated in intensive care units, with 458 requiring respiratory aid. The Health Ministry also reported 76 new COVID-19 fatalities in the last 24 hours, and the death toll in the country rose to 3,536 deaths. 24 new clusters were also detected nationwide. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, has expressed his disappointment towards the anti-vaccine group. In a statement today, his private secretary, Datuk Muhammad Munir Bani, said Sultan Sharafuddin hopes for the people not to be easily influenced by such distorted understanding. His Royal Highness also expressed his belief that vaccines could save lives. The Sultan said he was concerned that if there were individuals or communities who were too stubborn to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, the target to achieve group or herd immunity by the end of this year would not be achieved and put the country in a more acute and dangerous pandemic crisis. His Royal Highness also lamented the increase in the daily number of new positive cases in Selangor and hoped that the Special Committee on COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee JKJAV would speed up and increase the number of vaccine doses administered for the people in Selangor. Sultan Sharafuddin also expressed shock when it was confirmed by the COVID-19 Immunisation Task Force CITF that as of 1st June, Selangor had only received 615,210 doses of COVID-19 vaccine and not 2.9 million doses as claimed. His Royal Highness said it is unfair when the ratio of the total supply of vaccine doses currently is not balanced with the total populations of all the residents in Selangor numbering 6.5 million. Payments for government services to be made cashless next year. The Muslim world must play a more proactive role to ensure the worldview of Islam or Islam's vision of existence continues to be properly studied. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said it is for this reason the government had adopted the Manhaj Rabbani, the divine path or approach, which is now an overarching government policy framework for Islamic affairs in Malaysia to give more authenticity and substance to the development of the country in the 21st century.
Our Muslim scholars and universities are crucial in realizing this agenda of Manhaj Rabbani in Malaysia, where we hope a more ethical and spiritually fulfilling atmosphere can emerge in our country. And this demands that our universities to take into account the need to nurture men and women of adab or good human beings.
Speaking while officiating the International Conference on Contemporary Islamic Studies 2021 held virtually today, the Premier said Malaysia must produce scholars and professionals who not only can extend the dominant Western achievements, but also be brave to criticize shortcomings in various fields. He said when wisely applied beyond the communities, Islamic thought and studies can positively strengthen a harmonious and peaceful ecosystem, regardless of ethnic and religious orientations. The Finance Ministry under the My Digital initiative will ensure that payments for all government services will be made on cashless basis by next year. Its Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz said as of last year, about 60% of the government's total collection was through e-payment.
In the near future, under My Digital, the Ministry of Finance will ensure payments for all government services by 2022 are made on a cashless basis. This will lead to a higher transactional security, better coordination, enhanced communication on anti-corruption initiatives, and greater ease of sharing information.
Speaking when officiating the Malaysian Institute of Accountants Conference 2021, the Finance Minister said the government has worked continuously to ensure good governance, more efficient and effective public service delivery, as well as curbing leakage, fraud and corruption. He said the government has shifted to electronic identification cards and biometric proof of identity for identification of citizens, expediting direct government assistance to ensure inclusiveness, accessibility, transparency and accountability. So far, the government has pushed for digitalization on various ends, including modernizing the public service delivery and curb corruption, as this will reduce direct contact points between citizens and public officials. Meanwhile, in a released statement, the Finance Minister said a total of 5.08 billion ringgit has been and will be channeled to nearly 1 million micro, small and medium enterprises (SMEs) under the Geran Khas Prihatin GKP to tide over their difficulties since COVID-19 hit the country. Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said the government hopes the direct assistance channeled to the micro SMEs will ease their burden, especially those affected by the implementation of the MCO 3.0. Under Pemerkasa announced on 17th March, Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said the government decided to provide GKP 3.0 of RM1,000 to more than 1 million micro traders to ensure the continuity of their business, especially in managing their cash flow. He said the government gave a similar commitment under Pemerkasa Plus, which was unveiled on 31st May, where an additional amount of RM500 would be disbursed, increasing the total payment to RM1,500 for each micro SMEs to help them navigate through MCO 3.0. The minister said the payment will be credited directly to the bank account registered in the GKP system, and the approval status can be checked from 8th June. He added that the additional payment of RM500 will be paid in July 2021, bringing the total amount under GKP 3.0 to RM1.5 billion. Malaysia will suspend the import of cattle and buffaloes from Thailand with immediate effect due to the transmission of lumpy skin disease (LSD) in 41 provinces there. According to the Veterinary Services Department, the decision was made to curb the transmission of LSD from Thailand to protect the nation's ruminant industry. The department urged all industry players, importers, middlemen and breeders to give their cooperation by cancelling their booking, if there are any, with the cattle and buffalo suppliers in Thailand. They are also advised to immediately report to the state and district veterinary authorities if there are cattle or buffaloes in farm with LSD symptoms for control and prevention action. In its effort to curb the possibility of cattle and buffalo smuggling from Thailand, the department said it has obtained the cooperation of the Malaysian Border Security Agency (AXAM) to enhance its monitoring activities on the Malaysia-Thailand border. Riza Shahriz Aziz has been sued by One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB and its 3 subsidiaries over allegations of misappropriating $250 million, said to have been used for real estate purchases and financing movie productions. According to a court document, Riza, who is also the stepson of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, was named as the first defendant, while a film company he co-founded, Red Granite Pictures Incorporated, was the second defendant. Red Granite Capital Limited, a related company, was named the third defendant, as US-based law firm Sherman & Sterling was the fourth. The matter was brought up for case management before the Kuala Lumpur High Court today. According to the writ of summons, 1MDB claimed that Riza had received approximately $250 million in funds that were misappropriated from the Sovereign Wealth Fund by its officers and their associates in 2011 and 2012. A labourer pleaded guilty at Kota Baru Magistrate Court today on the charge of extorting money from a senior citizen last April. Judge Ahmad Bazli, however, set 6 July for sentencing. According to the charge sheet, Muhammad Fikri Anis Fatullah Muhammad Azmi, 27, had committed the offence against 63-year-old Nik Somi Ismail at 4:35 p.m. at a house in Kampung Siput, Pasir Tumbuh, Kota Baru. He was charged under Section 392 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum jail sentence of up to 14 years, whipping and fine. At the same court, the accused was also charged with stealing a motorcycle from a woman. He, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge and claimed trial. He was alleged to have committed the offence in front of a house in Kampung Pulau Gadong, Kuala Besar, Kota Baru at 3 p.m. on 17th April. Court allowed bail of RM4,000 and set 11th July for remention. All right, that is it from us this evening. In our top story, ATM offers logistical assistance to bring vaccines to rural area. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Thanks for watching.